let's take social media content. A lot of people here probably don't have the following or the engagement that you want on your social media content. And there's probably some people here that have not really started doing anything on socials, or you're just not, or it's not maybe relevant to you, but you can, understand the example. And then there's probably some people here who really are crushing on their overall engagement in social media and that kind of a thing. I have had every possible experience that you can have with social media. I've had years of time in my business where I had the continually viral and, extreme amounts of comments type posts, and where I was really, known in that way and followed and engaged with in that way. I've had periods early on in my business where I was doing online business before I even used social media for the first few years, because that's how long ago I started. And I also have period now in the last few years where I have lower kind of audience and active engagement than I had for at least a decade before that, since I started everything afresh in God. And so I can kind of look through a lens of all the different examples. And so I'll give you an example. And it's something I've had to really, pull myself up on in my own social media behavior. If you're consistently posting stuff that doesn't really get a huge response, and then you're comparing it, in my case, with the previous version of myself, but also for sure with other people, you're comparing it with other people, or you're comparing it with some kind of standard of what you think should be going on, you're looking at those circumstances as real. It will 1,000,000% impact how you show up in your ongoing social media content. It will impact either in the fact that you'll be a bit tail between your legs and you won't post, or you won't post consistently, and you'll be very stop-start and very wishy-washy. And it will also impact in the fact that if your lens is, well, people aren't really listening or following, and maybe I should be doing this, and maybe it's that, and now let me buy this other new course over here, and what if I went back to whatever, that kind of a thing, then the impact will be that even if you are showing up, creating, posting, sharing a message that likely people need to hear, that there's uncertainty beneath that message. Wishful thinking. I hope it will work. I'm trying to get it to work. And it can also be self-consciousness, embarrassment, a feeling of, I don't know, any kind of way about what you think people are thinking about you, that sort of thing. Let me know if that makes sense to you. And so that's going to perpetuate the same situation, because guess what sells? Guess what sells? If you want to talk about sales, certainty is what sells. People respond to certainty. Faith. We're talking about faith, whatever the faith or certainty might be in. What doesn't sell, and what causes confusion, and what causes people not to buy or not to click or not to engage or not to really hang around very much at all, is uncertainty. This person doesn't really know who they are. They don't necessarily know what they stand for, and they're not backing what's coming out of themselves. They are not putting it out there from a perspective of, this is critical. I'm so excited to share this with you. This is the true message you need to hear, however it is that you might express that if that were you. Instead, it's this kind of like, I hope you're okay with this. And now I'm going to not look and not post again for a few days just in case you're not. And also because I feel a bit diminished or defeated about where it's all going. Social media is a great example of that. It's a great example. You can see how in certainty somebody is about what they're doing by what they're doing on social media. Loosely, you can discern that. However, what you can't tell from someone's on, off again, I hope you're okay with it behavior on social or email applies as well. And by the way, that applies to your course creation and really everything that you're doing as well. How you're selling, what you're putting out into the world. What you can't tell from all of that, though, is, does this person have a powerful, life-changing message to share with the world? Because I would bet that there's going to be, over the course of people watching this replay, hundreds of people who can relate to what I just said and say, that's me. I'm the one on social who's kind of like, I hope this one day starts working, and I'm really trying, and kind of all over the place. But of those hundreds of people, I would say that every single one of you has a powerful, life-changing message to share with the world. And I would say that a high percentage of you would also already have had the experience multiple times over of powerfully impacting people in an individual conversation as a coach or as a mentor, or in whatever it is that you do. And if you haven't, when I said most of you, if you haven't had that experience, I mean, probably only because you're just kind of starting in business or online or putting yourself out there, but you would have had the experience in your personal life. So there's actually no correlation between somebody's overall, let's just call it somebody's overall vibe on social, or in how they create and how they sell and how they market and how they present themselves to the world. There's actually very little correlation, or a much different correlation than what you might think, between what that all looks like and between the power, the truth, the reality of the thing that they're carrying, that God has given them to carry, that they've probably spent decades of their life growing into, learning more about, and really becoming, you becoming whoever it is that you've been becoming. The power, the truth, the necessity, the alignment, the assignment of all of that. So what's the issue then? The issue is that this person, little Miss Entrepreneur full of question marks, is looking through a lens of current circumstance rather than showing up for today's work from the place where peace is, from the place where freedom is, from the place where liberty is, from the place where God is leading her. And that is really hard sometimes. If you're putting yourself out there, if we use that example and it seems like it's falling on deaf ears, or it's just kind of like super slow moving, or maybe you've made a lot of different things and put them out there and sales haven't really been flowing, or maybe you just can't seem to commit to the way that is you being you on social, and you forgot that it's about the art of your heart. You forgot that you actually get to follow your own true creative flow. And instead you've been trying to figure the whole thing out through a lens of what works online or what people on the internet are saying. Any or all of that is a really great reason to basically pull the emergency cord, press the pause button, and just go, hang on, wait. My work today, my work this year is not meant to be, and in fact can't be, reactive to circumstance. Because if I keep looking through a lens of what I think is going on, or what I think people think of me, or what I think I have to be, or what I think it's going to take in a certain niche or in the online space in general, then all I'm going to continue to create is a reflection of that and a response to that. So it will self-perpetuate. Do you see what I mean? On the other hand, when you connect into where certainty is, where peace is, where freedom is, where certain knowing is, and also into that place where you are allowing yourself to simply be the creative human that God made you to be, and be the messenger who you are and the leader who you are, and so on and so forth, that's when the real work is able to come out.